Coming up on Ag Week TV, trade deals are starting to make some progress, including China, giving farmers hope for 2020. The Minnesota Department of Ag cracks down on Palmer amaranth seed and cover crops to control the spread of this monster weed. And what low falling numbers in the 2019 wheat crop mean for farmers and the baking industry. Welcome to Ag Week TV. I'm Michelle Rook. The U.S. and China announced they've reached a Phase 1 trade deal. U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer says China has agreed to purchase $40 to $50 billion of U.S. agriculture, energy, and other goods annually in 2020 and 2021. There's no shopping list yet, and some doubt about China's ability and commitment to buy that amount. However, farm groups are ready for the trade war to be over. The soybean industry wants to get business back to normal and get prices back up.
It's just been a long, drawn-out battle that we can resolve, and it looks like we got a possibility to resolve. So let's get together, finalize the details, and get the deal done.
In response, the U.S. did not impose the December 15th tariffs on China. And 30 days after the deal is signed, the 15% tariffs from September on $120 billion of China goods will drop to 7.5%. However, the 25% tariffs on $250 billion of imports remain. It's also unclear when China will take tariffs off U.S. ag products, although they've issued some tariff-free waivers for U.S. soybeans and pork. The deal is scheduled to be signed in early January. The waiving of the December 15th tariffs on China imports by the Trump administration is good news for the United States crop protection industry and farmers buying crop inputs for 2020. The prices for crop protection products will already be higher in the new year due to the third round of tariffs the U.S. imposed on China. The additional 15% tariff scheduled for December 15th, though, would have raised prices even more.
A lot of active ingredients and crop protection products get produced in China and really nowhere else. So there isn't an alternative to go elsewhere to try to get some of these things done. So it is indeed having an impact, and it probably will mean that just about everybody has to raise prices a little bit.
She says herbicides and pesticides carried over from 2019 are lower priced. Many retailers still have those products on hand with 20 million acres of prevented plant in 2019 and are trying to sell those products first. So check before you buy to see if you can take advantage of the savings. The USMCA trade deal is finally making progress after House Democrats and the Trump administration struck an agreement on labor standards and enforcement in Mexico. That paved the way for a successful vote in the House. Tom Vilsack with the U.S. Dairy Export Council predicted the House and Senate would both easily pass USMCA. He says it's a better deal for the dairy industry than NAFTA.
It's better because we have a side letter on GIs with Mexico. We have a bit more market access with Canada that we don't have to share with the rest of the world. And we have an end to this Class 7 pricing system that's distorted the powder market.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has signaled the Senate will wait to vote on USMCA until January following the impeachment proceedings.
We need to get USMCA passed. I think that's going to be critical in showing those partners, both Canada and Mexico in particular, that we're a reliable trading partner.
Canada and Mexico are top customers for U.S. agriculture, especially corn and pork. Last year alone, they took over 40% of the pork from the U.S. Pork exports to Mexico totaled $1.3 billion and exports to Canada totaled $765 million. Legislation was just introduced in the Senate by Nebraska's Deb Fischer to stop deceptive labeling of fake meat. The Real Meat Act, or Marketing Edible Artificials Truthfully legislation, is a companion bill to H.R. 4881 in the House. The National Cattlemen's Beef Association supports the legislation because it will allow cattle producers to compete on a level playing field.
And what that's going to do is it's going to restrict how you can use the term beef. That is the #1 issue for us, to make sure that these products cannot use our nomenclature.
The Real Meat Act also stops fake meat companies from using false marketing schemes to mislead consumers about the nutritional merits and actual ingredient composition of their products. It enhances the government's ability to enforce the law. Plus, FDA must notify USDA if an imitation meat product is misbranded. The Minnesota Department of Ag is cracking down on seed contaminated with weeds like Palmer amaranth to stop it from spreading. One Minnesota farmer is now taking on the company that sold him cover crop seed with the noxious weed seed in it. Mikkel Pates explains the dispute in this week's Ag Week cover story.
Mark Logic and his family farm and raise purebred cattle near Canby, Minnesota. But thanks to the cool, wet spring, he needed some cover crop seed for his prevented plant acres.
We couldn't get all the corn and beans in, and I needed hay, so I bought some Proso millet from a reputable company. I planted it because I needed the hay.
But a week later he got a call that the seed was contaminated with the dreaded Palmer amaranth weed. State inspectors found the weed in his fields, and the seed company paid for him to spray Roundup and 2,4-D. But Logic refused to sign a waiver that would release the company from further liability.
That seed can lay dormant up to 3 years. I don't know what the future holds. I think I got all the plants, but that's not to say it can't be a complete train wreck.
No other state has been as aggressive about Palmer amaranth as Minnesota has been.
The state of Minnesota has zero tolerance for the weed and is keeping an eye on Logic's field.
We do have a team of inspectors, and they were specifically focused on cover crop seed, so we did sample and test more cover crop seed than we do in a typical year because there was a lot more coming into the state.
The state also has a grant program for help with getting rid of the weed.
Palmer is on the eradication list, and it's prohibited in the state of Minnesota. We're trying to keep those weeds out of the state or regulated to the areas where they're found.
The state of Minnesota will help Logic keep an eye on his fields, but at this point, he's not letting the seed company off the hook. Near Canby, Minnesota, in Lincoln County, this is Mikkel Pates for AgWeek.
Logic declined to disclose the company that he bought the seed from. You can read more in the next AgWeek magazine and at agweek.com. Up next on AgweekTV.
The following numbers test can be both confusing and even a little mysterious. Presentation here at the annual Prairie Greens Conference in Grand Forks, North Dakota tried to take out at least some of the mystery.
Oh my goodness.
Ready for more? The new Fendt 900 Vario is impressive on every level. With groundbreaking features, you'll be ready for everyday challenges now and in the future. New smart connectivity solutions make the Fendt 900 series from Butler Machinery an intelligent choice for your farm. We're also proud to carry the Fendt Ideal, a new combine for a new era of farming. Designed to be automated in operation, the Ideal combine is already setting industry standards for efficiency and output. Visit butlermachinery.com to schedule a demo at your operation.
Every so often, technology revolutionizes an industry. We introduce Wheelman, an easy-to-use and simple-to-install, complete auto steering system that any farmer can afford. Wheelman works with over 700 tractor makes and models, and there are no additional fees. You buy direct, it ships to your home, and installs in just a couple of hours. Starting at $39.95, Wheelman has arrived. Learn more at handsfreefarm.com/arrived.
Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance, marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com.
More successful seasons start with more freedom in the field. The exclusive agronomic and economic incentives of the FMC Freedom Pass program expand your crop protection options from pre-plant to harvest. More than 40 FMC products qualify. 40+ herbicides, insecticides, and fungicides growers know and trust. And FMC rewards you for making independent, innovative crop protection decisions, not for making your seed purchase. Visit your FMC retailer or FMCFreedomPass.com today.
The cool, wet growing season severely reduced the quality of a lot of wheat in the region. The falling number test is a measure of potential damage, but it can be confusing. A demonstration was given at the recent Prairie Grains Conference in Grand Forks. Jonathan Knutson explains.
Anything below 300 can lead to some different
end-use quality issues, sticky dough, different things, low volume, decreases in bread.
Rhonda Line is a scientist with USDA's Federal Grain Inspection Service in Kansas City. She says the falling number test is important to both growers and buyers. Wheat with a falling number of under 300 is less attractive to millers and bakers and usually means less money for farmers.
Unfortunately, it's been a bad year with all the rain, and that leads to this enzyme is released because the wheat can actually start sprouting before harvest.
In the test, wheat is ground into meal, water is added, and it's heated. The falling number is how many seconds it takes for the stirrer to fall to the bottom of the test tube. The faster it falls, the greater the potential damage to the wheat.
So if you're making breads or noodles or any other product, it's going to affect the consistency of their baked products. It's going to affect the processing, the handling. As it's sitting on the shelf, those enzymes might still continue to degrade the bread.
The test has been used since 1964. Though many growers have heard of it, they probably haven't seen it in actual operation. In Grand Forks, this is Jonathan Knutson for Ag Week.
There are other tests that measure sprout damage, but the falling number test is most common. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, provides food for needy families. It's part of the Farm Bill, and the USDA is planning to reduce access to the popular program in 2020. In North Dakota, about 23,000 families participate in the SNAP program. More than half of them live in rural areas. But if the proposed changes to the program go through, about 10% of them, or 2,400 families, will be kicked off the program. It may also mean their children will lose school lunch benefits, and it could hurt rural communities.
That will have ripple effects, because then there will be less money available to spend at grocery stores and other places where people buy food, and that could impact businesses down the line as well.
The USDA has finalized one of 3 rules on SNAP, and 2 others remain under consideration. Still ahead on AgweekTV, this year isn't the first time sugar beet growers had to deal with frozen beets. We'll tell you about a legal battle that ended with a big win for farmers.
When harvest comes around, time is precious and you don't have a moment to waste. North Star Ag offers the Lofsness Grain Logix Grain Bag Loader to deliver versatile grain storage performance load after load. Lofsness's user-friendly grain baggers are easy to load and unload, perfect to get your harvest in the bag. Uptime is crucial. Keep your crew in the field longer with a fuel trailer from Thunder Creek. And don't forget, North Star Ag has Meridian hopper bins for any size operation. See our complete new and used equipment inventory at northstarag.com or give us a call.
Make sure your farm equipment is season ready with an uptime inspection from your Titan Machinery service professionals. Titan Machinery's team of Case IH certified technicians has the knowledge and experience to find, correct, and prevent mechanical issues that could shut you down during the season. Your planting and harvest windows are short. For genuine Case IH parts and service, schedule an off-season uptime inspection at Titan Machinery today. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH dealer.
At Superior Grain Equipment, we're committed to quality and service, offering you the best in grain storage and dryers for any size operation. Our experts will work with you to determine the most efficient and economical storage solution for your needs. We help protect your bottom line and your future with the industry's best bins and warranties. Make the superior choice for protection today and tomorrow with Superior Grain Equipment.
Dynaflow is the ultimate high-volume water management pump. Whether you're experiencing flooding, emptying sloughs, transferring ponds, or working on irrigation, the Dynaflow pump works in as little as 18 inches of water and is designed to move 3,000 gallons per minute. The Dynaflow lift pump is the perfect upgrade to your drain tile system. Using line shaft turbine pump technology, these pumps are made to last while operating efficiently. Dynaflow drain tile pumps can move up to 1,500 gallons per minute, up to 3,400 feet away.
Steffes Group, selling land and the equipment to farm it since 1960. If you're interested in selling or have questions about our auction process, head to our website at steffesgroup.com to contact us at any one of our 4 locations located throughout the Midwest. You can also visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel to view all of our auction previews and recaps to stay up to date on the market in your area.
Farmers who want to see the latest technology in agriculture can find it at the annual Precision Ag Summit coming up next month in Jamestown. Praxis Strategy Group and the North Dakota Farmers Union have organized this summit the last 9 years. The idea is to introduce new precision ag and agronomic techniques to farmers. Dolores Zimmerman with Praxis says there's always something new. This year's theme is The Future is Already Here, with a focus on the autonomous Grand Farm project south of Fargo.
After 9 years, I think what we've learned is that people come because they do learn new things, they meet new people, they get ideas that they can put into practice next year during the planting and harvesting season. So it's we find that it's always been very useful for folks, which is why they continue to come.
The event is January 20th and 21st at the NDFU Conference Center in Jamestown. Go to precisionagriculturesummit.com for more information. There is a discount if you register before December 31st. The recent weather has been mostly cold and dry. Will that continue into the end of the year? Here's John with our AgriWeather Outlook.
Realizing we're in the middle of wintertime here in the Northern Plains and we've had some fairly cold winter. The frigid air for the time being has retreated up north into Canada, but you don't think about what's going on the other side of the world. A remarkable heat wave this week throughout the continent and country of Australia with some remarkable temperatures this past week as well, all due to an expanding area of high pressure, absolutely limits clouds and rain and lets that heat really build up. The average of Australia's high temperatures the last few days were over 105 degrees. This is not a record. The hottest it's ever been in Australia on record was 123 degrees back in 1960. The heat wave is expected to continue. Meanwhile, back here in the Northern Plains, here's what we're watching. The Arctic air is retreating just a little bit. There will be a chance of snow this week, maybe around the holiday, and we'll take a quick look at what that Arctic air might be doing as we enter January. Roly-poly weather pattern with a bit of a split over the east, but the ridging is helping the cold air go back north for at least a while this week. However, it does look like it will return, not the frigid air, but we'll go back down, spending most of the week in the Northern Plains and Northern Rockies anyway above freezing. The heat will return to the southeastern states, especially Florida. Looks very warm for Christmas there. By the end of the week, frigid weather will be lurking just north of the border, and it looks like it may try to settle in for some time right around the turn of the new year before backing off a bit, but there's a lot of cold air that could plunge southward sometime in early January. This week, a couple of weather systems moving out middle of the week and toward the end. Likely snow north, then rain, snow, then rain. The west coast, of course, will be fairly wet. The second week, the turn of the new year, will bring a lot of dry weather to the midsection of the country, with the main stormy weather in the Pacific Northwest and along the eastern seaboard.
Now is the perfect time to ensure you're ready for spring. Order now and receive up to $4,000 bonus savings for early orders of Summers Land Rollers, Summers Super Coulters, and the new Summers VRT Renegade. Offer valid through December and January and subject to availability. Visit summersmfg.com for details.
Big Boy Toys.
Attend the region's premier ag technology event, the 2020 Precision Ag Summit, January 20th and 21st at the North Dakota Farmers Union Conference Center in Jamestown. You'll learn about the current trends of precision agriculture, technological applications, and demonstrations for successful implementation. Hear from industry experts, producers, and more. Exhibitor space and sponsorship opportunities are still available. Visit precisionagriculturesummit.com for more information or to register for the 2020 Precision Agriculture Summit.
More successful seasons start with more freedom in the field. The exclusive agronomic and economic incentives of the FMC Freedom Pass program expand your crop protection options from pre-plant to harvest. More than 40 FMC products qualify. 40+ herbicides, insecticides, and fungicides growers know and trust. And FMC rewards you for making independent, innovative crop protection decisions, not for making your seed purchase. Visit your FMC retailer or FMCFreedomPass.com today.
This is Dennis Belisky reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
This was a rough year for sugar beet growers, with about a third of the crop volume left in the ground after a cold and snowy harvest. But it's not the first time growers have seen a season like this. Mikkel Pates talked to a man who was a young farmer in Hillsboro, North Dakota in 1981, when he led an effort to collect insurance for a frozen beet crop.
We didn't know how much trouble we were in, but we knew it wasn't good.
American Crystal Sugar Co-op was just 8 years old in 1981 when growers ran into a hard freeze during harvest. Farmers delivered frozen beets to their new co-op. Mike Warner was a young farmer and president of the Red River Valley Sugar Beet Growers Association.
What the farmers knew was deliver the beets. I don't get paid if I don't deliver.
But the beets didn't store well and couldn't be processed. Many growers had crop insurance but were denied payments when the beets deteriorated. Warner led a lawsuit on behalf of hundreds of growers to challenge the Federal Crop Insurance Corporation's denial of payments.
In fact, we argued we mitigated the losses by at least trying to get the sugar out, receiving and trying to get the sugar out of those beets. We actually reduced the exposure to Federal Crop Insurance Corporation. They stood by the letter of the law, and we came to impasse.
It took 5 years, but the growers won an appeal worth about $6 million. That's equivalent to about $15 million today. The money was badly needed as the country was already heading into the 1980s farm crisis. It was the first successful legal challenge of its type, but Warner says it was about much more than money.
I genuinely took pride in the fact that the little guy won, and I was able to help do that.
In fact, Warner is so proud of his efforts he still keeps a framed copy of the check on the wall of his office. In Fargo, this is Mikkel Pates for Ag Week.
Good quality farmland continues to fetch strong prices in the region. In fact, values in the Red River Valley have climbed back close to the peak in 2012 and 13 at a little over $5,000 an acre for highly productive land. Still, marginal land is down in value as people aren't willing to take on the risk. Pfeiffer's, which manages more than 200,000 acres of land for owners, says meanwhile, farmland rental rates have held steady despite poorer returns tied to lower commodity prices or production difficulties.
The majority of the land leases that we're renegotiating right now are staying the same as they were last year. A pleasant surprise for our landowners to see that they have not had to go down a lot on those rents.
He says the lower interest rate climate does bode well for the value of land. Coming up on Ag Week TV, these are stressful times for farmers. We'll see what one family is doing to help others.
Upgrade your trailer to electric with the Rolltech electric system from AgriCover. Strong, flexible pivot arms and motor mount rotate and telescope, allowing the roll tube to rise and flex over heaped loads. The positive automatic lock is impossible to back off to control the flow of grain. This integrated system uses one wireless remote to operate up to 10 tarps and hoppers, keeping your driver out of the dust, rain, and harm's way. See the Rolltech system in action at an AgriCover dealer near you.
With the success of the Case IH Steiger Quad Track and Magnum Road Track tractors, it's no secret why Case IH is the leader of the track. So it wasn't surprising when the competition started imitating us. But only Case IH offers a 5-axle design to give you a smoother ride, more power to the ground, with less berming and compaction. Still, we're flattered. In fact, if we weren't already red, we'd be blushing.
Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley source for Batco. Vallejo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley Batco dealer.
Now is the perfect time to ensure you're ready for spring. Order now and receive up to $4,000 bonus savings for early orders of Summers Land Rollers, Summers Super Coulters, and the new Summers VRT Renegade. Offer valid through December and January and subject to availability. Visit summersmfg.com for details.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? AgWeek magazine. Reaching over 70,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. AgWeek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted, AgWeek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
This year's tough harvest following a year of low prices and a trade war is taking a toll on farmers. But as Tanner Robinson reports, one group in northern Minnesota is working to help and support farmers.
As Brenda Mack looks over the sugar beet field she helps farm,
that got left in the ground.
She's reminded of the tough times she and husband Trent Brecken have faced throughout this harvest season.
I grew up in a farm family in East Grand Forks. My husband's been farming his whole life, and it's been the most difficult harvest that he can remember.
Their struggles, along with the struggles of others, inspire them to open their shop to farmers all across Polk County. Today they shared cups of coffee and conversation, which Trent says is a great way to open up about the harvest.
Just a bunch of community getting together and just talking about how they did this year and the struggles they had. It's good to talk about it and just get it out in the open.
Bennett Osmondson made the trip from Gully, Minnesota, about an hour east of Crookston, to lend a helping hand.
There's a lot of things where we just don't get together unless you're part of a church or a social club of some kind. People are alone and we're further apart between us on farms.
Now, as time grows shorter to get crops out of the ground, Bennett believes farmers need to show more urgency.
I think time is important. Time is of essence to get something done.
As for Brenda, she hopes these talks in a relaxed setting spark a change for the better.
If I can make any small positive impact on people in farming or farm couples, I will be able to lay my head on my pillow at night and sleep soundly.
A show of support and a hope for a happier harvest.
The Minnesota Department of Agriculture has also been holding emerging farmer listening sessions throughout the state the past several months. The final session was held in Rochester and was attended by the Lieutenant Governor. MDA wanted to hear directly from farmers and ag professionals about the barriers emerging farmers face, with the goal of expanding who has access to agriculture in Minnesota.
Our job is to really listen to folks across the state in all four corners and hear the barriers, frankly, that they are bumping up against and trying to farm, and do everything that we can to try to remove some of those barriers.
According to 2017 census data, there are nearly 90,000 Caucasian farm operators in Minnesota, but less than 1,000 who are indigenous or of color, something they would also like to build on. Thanks for watching this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. We'll see you next week.